Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to reading class. Today we are going to be turning to page 374 in your reading books, your Storytown, and we're going to be going over the story that goes with your Storytown lesson, the science fair. So we're going to do the paired reading today. So if you turn to that, you will see Dr. Fix-It. And Dr. Fix-It here is giving advice. And what we're going to be looking at today is an email from Dr. Fix-It that shows an example of how an email is written and all the different parts of an email. So the first thing we want to look at is right up here. This up here is the heading of an email. So a header includes, and if you look right up here as I'm talking, the email address of the person sending and the person receiving. So you can see the to and the from right up top here. So that's from whoever's writing it, and it's from icube@online.com, and then it's to Dr. Fixit@online.com. So we have someone who's going to be sending an email to Dr. Fixit, and Dr. Fixit is then going to reply and give advice. Another part of the header here is you can see the date and time in which the letter was actually sent. So that would be July 29th, and we separate the day and the time at 10:27 a.m. And we know a.m. stands for morning from midnight until noon. And then we have the subject. So icube@online.com is asking for help. And so then we come to the greeting, and we know we capitalize the greeting and then we follow it by a comma, and then we go into the informal writing. A lot of times a quick email is informal writing, and then you have your closing here and the signature, which is typed instead of in cursive. Though you can choose a cursive typesetting if you wanted to. All right, so we're going to start reading up at the top, and it says from icube@online.com to Dr. Fixit@online.com. The date, once we already stated, was July 29th, comma, 10:27 a.m., and the subject is help. So he has a problem. Dear Dr. Fixit, I was chilling out in the ice cube tray when someone grabbed me and put me in a glass. Now I'm out in the sun and I can't stop melting. Please help, Icy Cube. And you can see there's the ice cube right there, and he's melting. So he has a problem. So why does the ice cube melt in the sun? So right here it says, I'm out in the sun and I can't stop melting. So you want to think to yourself, okay, so we have a cause and effect. So the cause of the melting is the sun that's heating up the ice cube. So the sun gives off energy to its particles to make them move so much that it can't hold its shape anymore. So we have an ice cube that's melting. So then we have Dr. Fixit replying to Icy Cube the same day, but a little bit later. See, that was 10:27, and now we're at 10:43, and the subject says, and you can see that it says re. Re means that he is replying to the original message. He's replying to the message help. So we have, Dear IC, don't worry, you're melting because you're made up of tiny particles. In the freezer, they weren't moving much. The sun gives them heat. This made them move so much that you couldn't hold your shape anymore. Best wishes, Dr. Fixit. Then we have from icq@online.com to Dr. Fixit again on July 29th, and it's a little bit later, same day, We're still in the AM, and the subject is, well, what now? Dear Dr. Fix-It, life as a liquid is so much fun. Some shapes would be nice though, or some shape would be nice though. I am getting really hot out here. What's going to happen to me next? Thank you, Icy Cube. So now, what's it called when a liquid changes into something else? Because he's a liquid now, it's getting hot out. What's going to happen to this liquid? He went from a solid, which was the ice cube, to a liquid, which is the water, and now what's going to happen? And it says, Dr. Fix-It to Icy Cube, July 29th, 11:53 a.m. We're still a.m. So if you think about how many more minutes until we turn to the p.m. So it's 11:53. Hopefully you're saying in 7 minutes, it would be 53 plus 7 would be 60, and that would be noon, and we would go from a.m. to p.m. The subject is a reply to the first question, what now? And now Dr. Fixit is replying to Icy Cube, so you have a what now? Dear Icy, if you stay in the sun, your particles will keep moving faster. They will get enough heat energy to break apart and leave the glass. You'll change from a liquid to a gas. This is called evaporation. We won't see you then, but don't worry, you'll just have changed forms. Best wishes, Dr. Fixit. So we know that evaporation is the end result of a liquid turning into a gas. So he started off as a solid up here, as an ice cube. He changed into a liquid as his particles started to heat up and move. And then he turned, when they kept going and it was going faster and faster, those particles, they started to evaporate and turned into a gas. So my question is, how can you tell these letters were sent by an email? So look at how you can tell these are sent from an email. Hopefully that you see each of those letters have an email address right up here. They do not have the city and state with a zip code like we've learned how to write a letter and put into a mailing address. These are a different type of address. These are a computer email address. And the writer receiving them, it's getting an email address. And then we have a date and time that the email was sent. And then we have a subject that we write about. So those are a lot of differences between a piece of mail that you get from the mailman and a piece of email that comes. All right, so we're going to move on to our comparing the text. So would Dr. Fixit like Kevin and Beanie's experiment and explain? So Dr. Fixit definitely talks about science, and Kevin and Beanie, they were basing their entire science experiment on science. So think about, would Dr. Fixit like Kevin and Beanie's experiment? And I would have to say, yes, when you compare those two texts, that he would like the experiment because it would help him to show why ice cubes melt. So you're comparing those two texts. Number 2, would you like to be Beanie's science partner? Why or why not? So you have to think about the type of personality you are and Beanie's personality. So I would definitely say yes, because she's a hard worker, but she also is a worrier. So you'd have to make sure that you guys could balance that. Number 3, why are science fairs important to students in real life? So you're making that text to the world. So possible, you could think, well, they allow students to do experiments and see each other's experiments. I know that the 6th graders do science experiments, and you guys each year get to go up to, I think they would have them in the old gym, and we've gone up and looked for them, and then we've gone into the art show. And so it's really great for kids to be able to learn from other students and other children, and it helps them to learn about science at the same time. So we're going to go down to your vocabulary review, and we have a word sort. And so right here it says work with a partner, so you're going to be working with your family. Sort the vocabulary words into 2 categories. You want to decide whether each word describes a character or an object in the science fair. Take turns explaining why you put each word where you did. Then choose one word from each category and write it in a sentence, or you could just use it in a sentence that uses both those words. Okay. Also, I did want to just go back. And one more thing about learning about exploring heat. This is something you can do at home. So maybe you could talk about and think about how heat makes matter expand, which is what we were learning about through different science experiments that Mrs. Jockel's student teacher was doing, and we were also learning during Dr. Fix-It. So maybe think about a door, how it sticks sometimes and it's hard to open on a really warm day. So maybe you want to perform a little experiment on your own, and maybe you want to take some ice cubes and put them in a bowl and stick them next to a warm sunny window and see what happens. So make sure you have a bowl that's bigger than the ice cubes, but put like maybe 5 or 6 ice cubes in a bowl and then put it next to a window and see what happens. See how either the water expands or contracts. See what you can learn about ice cubes in your own experiment. All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading lesson today. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.